This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 201 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show, Skeeter for President. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible.
Equity Manufacturing, home of the coolest manure fork ever invented. Kentucky Performance Products, scientifically proven supplements for your horse, and equestrian collections, the whole universe of equestrian shopping at your fingertips. You can find links to all of those terrific companies at stablescoop.com.
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. They bring you the news through hail or high water, while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, cause it's time again for the Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. The Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
I am Glenn the Geek.
And I'm Helena B. And you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network.
Helena, you're going to be so jealous.
Okay. Why?
Because I know that you're a huge Harry Potter fan.
I am.
And your daughter.
Yes.
And Wendy, the co-host of the driving show, showed up here yesterday to record the show. And she had with her, from her recent trip with her sister to Harry Potter World at Universal Studios, she brought me a magic wand.
Really?
I have Dumbledore's wand. Not just any wand. This is Dumbledore's wand.
I am such a geek. That is the coolest thing. That is the coolest thing. Do you know that we walk around our house going, Expelliarmus? We bring sticks in from outside and we're constantly disarming each other.
That's the problem, is she didn't buy the book. I don't have any of the spells. All I got's the wand, and I've been walking around pointing at everything that moves and nothing happens. Wait a minute. Did you read Harry Potter? Yes.
Okay. So
but I don't want to have to go back. There's an actual book. There's an instruction book. I don't want to have to go back through all the movies to find the spells.
Only you would want the Cliff Notes
I
to
want
Harry
the Cliff
Potter.
Notes. I just want to be able to zap things. So I've been playing with this all day and haven't put it down. And when I'm recording all the shows, I'm waving it around, and I'm going to break something with it. That's what's going to happen. And there's something cooler. Guess what she brought Jennifer?
A sorting hat?
Yes.
Really?
How'd you guess that?
I had to dip into my intuition. I did.
And I think it's because she wants to sort me right out of this house. That's what I think. She's going to tell me, you don't belong in this house. Go to somebody other house. But she looks really good in their sorting hat. We're going to take pictures.
Have you tried it? Have you put like names in it and seen what it kicks back out? Like you have to put names in it, put answers in it, ask it a question and see what happens.
So far, we've just put it on her head and laughed at her. That's how far we've gotten at this point.
I have an answer for that.
But no, the coolest gifts ever. How about that?
That's nice that Wendy came up and brought you those really nice
well,
gifts.
she knows what a big Harry Potter fans we are. And considering we don't have kids, that makes us really dorky.
You are kids. You're not dorks. You're kids.
Now, we never read the books. We just saw all the movies.
Okay.
Like several times. But
okay.
Yeah, so the only thing cooler than this would be a lightsaber, a real one, you know?
Yeah. Well, wait, there was something. Oh, yesterday I was walking out to my barn and something buzzed right past my head. And it sounded like a stormtrooper. It turned out to be a hummingbird.
Oh, wow.
But it was like, whoa. Oh, that was right out of Star Wars. It was just a ruby-throated hummingbird. All right, so
today, we finally got somebody good running for president, huh?
We finally have somebody good running for president. I am completely enamored with Skeeter. And actually, who turned me on to Skeeter was Wendy Ying.
Oh, really?
Wendy Ying. She had I saw that she had liked Skeeter for president on her Facebook page, and of course, there's this adorable donkey, which is Skeeter. And ever since I liked his Facebook page, I have been following these absolutely adorable photographs of Skeeter as he prepares to run for the presidency of the United States.
You know what I'll do? I'll just cast a spell so he'll win, because I have the wand.
Okay.
I can do that.
Maybe we can.
Wait a minute, I got to run down to Universal and get the book. I don't have the spells yet, so
That's true.
yeah, so
That's true. How far is Universal from you?
only about an hour and a half. Yeah, it's not too far from Disney World where you were.
Yeah. Okay, that's not too bad. That's
No,
it.
no.
We're gonna
But
have to.
Skeeter's going to be on his own till then.
Skeeter's going to be on, and he's nowhere near Florida right now. Although he is in the South, he hails from Louisiana. And he lives on a cute little farm out there with his mama and his papa, who goes by the name of Bubba Earl. It's perfect. I mean, it is perfect. It's such a witty, well written, well captioned, well photographed story of life on a farm. If you're an orphan donkey.
Well, I'm looking at the picture of the poster, Skeeter for President.
Yep.
And I love the tagline, the best jackass for the job.
For the job.
That's perfect.
Isn't that awesome?
And see, we can say that and not be swearing
No.
because we're a horse show. We can say that. That's right.
Yeah, in fact, if you go to his Facebook page, it says Skeeter wants to be the best jackass in Washington. Please help him get there.
I don't think that's going to be hard either.
How could you not want to follow that along? And the timing is perfect. So we're actually.
So are we talking to Skeeter? Did we hook him up with a little voice box, or what did we do?
Glenn, I don't know if anybody's told you this or not, but donkeys can't talk. They don't speak English.
You saw the movie Up. They just attached little voice boxes to the dogs' throats, and then they could talk.
Well, Skeeter's voice box is a little bigger than that, which was in Up. We're going to talk to Pam Foster, who is the brains behind Skeeter for President. And she knows him so well, she'll be able to translate for us. She's going to tell us all about how Skeeter came to be and what his chances are for getting a seat in the Oval Office.
And I want to know what his platform is, What is he going to do about the economy and all that stuff?
His platform is donkey love. It's all about love.
And we're going to do that in just a minute. We're going to talk to Pam, but first, let's take a break for one of our terrific sponsors, Equity Manufacturing. Well, hi, Joseph, and welcome back to the show. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about spring and all the things that brings.
Yeah, hi, Glenn. I've been enjoying your show, the Stable Scoop Show, and last week I was listening to it and heard Helena talking a little bit about the expectation of horse people and how we can sometimes be unrealistic in our demands. And I know that you had some comments about that.
Yeah, no, not me.
But it's always a pleasant surprise when we find a product or service that exceeds our expectations. And when it comes to manure forks, prior to our building our own fork, I can tell you that I was really unhappy with what was out there. And I didn't think that it was unrealistic to have a fork that didn't break tines the first time you catch a stall mat crack. But it seemed that every brand I tried had forgotten what quality was and just went for low price. So here at Equity Manufacturing, I decided to build a better fork and designed and built one with the patented features that make it last like no other. And you have them there, and you know how different the Flexen fork is from how it feels to how it looks to how it lasts.
That's right. I mean, with three of my hosts now, myself and Helena for Stable Scoop and Jamie on the Horses in the Morning show, all love the Flexen fork. I mean, we all use it every day.
Yeah, you and Helena found out it kind of surprises you with its industrial strength. And
yeah, I think she's done everything but drop the car on it, to be honest.
It is pretty funny what people wind up doing. I just had a guy talk to me yesterday. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. And he said that his horse nipped him, and he reached around and he whacked his horse with a fork, and the fork didn't break. So even some things that are unplanned on, it holds up. But it does cost more than a budget fork. It's about $45, and while that's twice as expensive as a cheapo version, it's a much better value because it lasts so long. And once you get used to its design, especially the flexible backbone that acts like a shock absorber, it's very hard to return to the old-fashioned style that's rigid that all the other forks have. And that flexible feature is also the reason that the tines bend, but they rarely break. And we make them in standard width or fine tine width, and even though they're much stronger, they're only a few ounces heavier than a regular fork that you would use.
And where can you find it?
Oh, go to equiteemfg.com. That's the website, and you can buy them directly from us there.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. The brains behind Skeeter for President. Welcome, Pam Foster. Welcome, Pam. Thanks for coming on the Stable Scoop radio show today.
Thanks for inviting me.
I am absolutely in love with Skeeter. I have a crush on him.
Skeeter groupie.
I am a groupie. I'm a groupie. Tell everybody about Skeeter, how you found each other, and how old is he? What's he doing? What's he doing on the farm? Like, give us a little history on that.
Okay, I guess we should start from day one when he was born. And we don't know what happened. His mother rejected him, or either he rejected his mother. I often wonder about him. I got up that morning. I went out to feed my horses, and there at my gate was a little brown thing that first, and I looked out, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a big dog. And I don't know how he got to the gate, how he managed to get separated from his mother, but she was way out in the pasture, minding her own business, and he was standing at the gate waiting on me, as if to say, I'm here. And one of my mares, a pretty little buckskin mare named Delilah, I don't know, she's fallen in love with him, and I have the pictures to prove it of that morning. I don't know if she took him from her and that separated the mother, baby bond somehow. I'm not real familiar with donkeys. His mother was my first donkey that we took in. So I thought, well, I'll just go out there and connect the two, and it'll all be lovely.
So he had a built-in foster mom right on the property.
Right on the property, which was really a good thing because we have coyotes in our area pretty bad. And if he was born sometime during the night and she abandoned him immediately after birth, he could have been wandering in the pasture for hours. Oh. And either she found him and took him in and protected him, maybe even brought him to the gate to meet me that morning. I'm not sure. Or either, he found her. We don't know what happened, but his mother refused to nurse him. And I went into a panic. I didn't know what to do. I know that, orphans the first day or two have to have their colostrum to survive. And this wasn't going to work out, apparently. I tried getting them back together, his mother and him, and she wouldn't have him. She kicked at him, just acted like she didn't even know what he was. And so I called the vets. I have two vets in a local town that are wonderful. Both of them are wonderful. And one of them called me back and said that if you can get an ounce of colostrum in him, like every hour or so, if you can milk his mother, that was another, ordeal. I've never milked a donkey before.
Okay, you had to milk the donkey?
The mother, yes. Well, we're going to get into that.
This just gets better and better, Glenn.
Geez.
That's a whole other story there.
If this doesn't make you love Skeeter alone.
Doing anything with a donkey is difficult, let alone milking the thing.
The donkey, yes. Fortunately, she was very tame and loved us dearly. She loved us, but not her baby. We never understood that either. When we got her, she was wild. She had never even been around a human before, I don't think, just allowed to run wild. So anyway, I'm thinking, oh, my goodness, what am I going to do? And fortunately, I was off that day. I'm a nurse. I was working then at a hospital. I worked 12-plus-hour shifts. And it just, like I said, all the stars aligned that day that, I was home and caught him up pretty quickly, took him in. And I called her up. I said, okay, well, I don't know if I've ever even milked a cow. I've read about it. I know, the process of it. I know the mechanics of milking something. So after working with the mother, yes, I had to work with her for a little while. She wasn't real cool at the beginning of letting me milk her. And I managed to get some colostrum, which is very sticky, thick, like a honey consistency type of milk almost. And got a little bit from her in a syringe and practically had to stand over him. He was a little bitty thing. I could pick him up and carry him around like a puppy. He didn't weigh 15 pounds,
Wow.
And I had to stand over him and force the colostrum into his mouth and make him swallow it. And after he realized, hey, this is good stuff, it was all good after that. But that was our first day. And in the meantime, I didn't think he was going to live. I said, this baby's never going to make it without a mother, and I was working long hours, and my husband was working long hours. I didn't know what we were going to do with it. So I got on Facebook and started just pleading and begging for anybody to help. Would they come get him? I'm not real donkey savvy. And I had about decided that my husband, being a gruff and grumpy, grouchy kind of, hard-working construction type man, macho, not very much sentiment, any, compassion. And he'd just come home and get a gun and say, well, I'll put it into this problem right now. So, I was panicking, thinking I got to find a place for him so my husband won't kill him. And found a lady in Texas that raises donkeys, Marjorie Farabee, who's wonderful. And she offered to drive up here from Texas to get him. So I had my story all lined up and waiting when my husband came in. Oh, I already called him and told him, we have a problem here on the farm. I told him we had a baby, but the mother didn't want him, and I'd already handled everything for him not to worry because, I could just hear him say, it's just what we need, another mouth to feed.
Sorry, it's not funny.
He came in from work, getting off work, 5:30, 6 o'clock. And there was Skeeter, wobbling around behind me, and I was spilling my story about, don't worry about anything. I got a lady from Texas that's going to come get him tonight. And he went and picked him up in his arms and said, I'm keeping him.
Oh.
I've got pictures of them sitting on our back porch swing that evening. I mean, it was love at first sight. And, of course, then I go into what are we going to do with the thing? I'm working for the next 3 days, 12-plus-hour shifts. Who's going to be here to take care of him? And he's got to have his colostrum for 2 days. And you got to milk his mother on top of that to get it. And he said, I'll take off work. I said, you're going to call your boss man and tell him that you're taking off to tend to an orphan baby jackass. Yeah.
Not when you put it that way.
Yeah. So I guess they were meant to be together. I always laugh and say jackass met a jackass that day. And it was just mutual,
They're
love.
family.
It's a mutual thing going on there. So he did. And that evening, I had to show my husband how to milk a donkey.
And he did?
It was very hard for me because I laughed so hard. It was very difficult. My husband is a middle-aged man. Has big, fat, cigar-shaped fingers. He's like banana hands, trying to milk this mama donkey. And he got down there and squatted down. He didn't do very good on the milking.
But at least he tried.
Yeah, he did try. God give him credit for that. I mean, God bless him. He said, I'm just going to get down there and suck it out of her. Spit it out and give it to
try
her.
that.
It's like a bird. What kind of bird feeds their baby? Regurgitate it.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
So I assured him that it didn't take but just a little tiny bit. So they managed the next day while I was at work, which was a miracle. That was a miracle in itself. So the next day, though, the mother, she kind of dried up, and it got harder to get the colostrum. So there again, I didn't think he would make it, but he got enough colostrum in him, and buddy,
he was just enough.
And, yeah.
And so at some point, so now you've got this orphan baby donkey. You've got your husband who is like totally surprising you with his love for this orphan baby donkey.
Yeah.
And you're starting to realize, okay, it looks like Skeeter's going to be sticking around for a while. Now you really just sort of are treating him like more than an equine, because all your pictures show him on your lap, watching TV with your husband, laying in a pool.
Yeah.
What do you think? How did he become so human-like?
Well, the bond that him and my husband had was hilarious. Everywhere my husband went, he went. He thought my husband was his mother, So I'd snap pictures of them in the yard and working together, and everybody loved him on Facebook. Everybody just went crazy about him. And then, he was like born in the middle of June. Somebody suggested I do a video of them together. So I said, well, we can do that. And we spent one weekend putting it together, and I had to have an antique computer. I had to put my computer in the shop and get some work done on it to be able to even make the video. So we spent the weekend getting it together, and then I put it together. That was the first one we did. It's called A Day in the Life of Bubba Earl and Skeeter. It's about a little over 7 minutes long, set to 2 Randy Newman tunes, which is perfect for them. And it's got I think it's gotten over 9,000 hits since I posted it last August. And, of course, Skeeter was a little bitty then still. But everybody just loves the bond, they have. And they are hilarious. They really are. He like I was telling you the other day, Helena, he can be a jackass at times.
Which one, Bubba Earl or Skeeter?
Both of them. Well, I laugh, and everybody will ask me, how do you get him to do that? How do you get him to act like that, those videos, and I say, hey, he's easier to work with than the man is.
Agreed.
By the way, doesn't this sound like two characters in the Cars movies, Bubba Earl and Skeeter?
Yes. Well, I mean, this is reality, and what do they say? Art imitates reality. This is art imitating reality, because how cute. I mean, all right. You know what? I want to find out about how Skeeter became a candidate for presidency. What made you think? What did you see in him that made you think he could make the run? But before we get there, we just need to take a quick break from one of our sponsors, and then we'll be right back to hear about what makes Skeeter so special.
Hi, Glenn, back with you from the Horse Radio Network. I'm here with Debbie with the Equestrian Collection's Product of the Week.
I have the coolest new product I have seen in a while. It's from SSG Gloves, and it's the Grand Prix Cellmate Gloves. Clever name, because these gloves have those little tips on your fingers, that you can actually use your cell phone while you're riding. I think that's a huge safety feature, especially for trail riders. If your cell phone's ringing and you've got to get your gloves off with your teeth, and you drop your glove and you drop your cell, it's terrible.
We've all done that too.
Are perfect. You can just pull your cell out and you can use them without messing with your gloves, and they're pretty. They fit like a glove. They fit very well, nice, and they're not loose. They look like any other real riding glove, only they've got these cool little tips on the fingers. They're absolutely, I highly recommend them. I have bought one immediately when I saw them. In fact, I had said to my husband over the holidays, I said, somebody ought to come out with some riding gloves so I can use my cell phone when I'm in the saddle. And bingo, SSG must have heard me, because they came out with these. They're now available. We've been waiting for them for a while. So order them quick, because I think they're going to sell out fast.
And I love the name too, Cellmate Gloves.
I know. Very, very clever.
And is this a summer glove, Debbie?
Well, they're kind of an all-season glove, but they're like suede-y feeling.
Okay.
They're not, they have the mesh on the fingers, but they're actually feel and look like suede, so that you can actually wear them, and to show if you wanted to. They're hunter, jumper, event, dressage, anything, because they're black, and you can wear them with anything. I did not find them to be very hot, because they do have some vents on the back, but they are suede, so they're actually leather-type gloves.
All right, terrific. And you can find them just by going to equestriancollections.com and typing in cell, C-E-L-L, mate, and that's the only thing that will come up.
Right. It's not prison.
That's right, equestriancollections.com.
Thank you, Glenn.
All right, now we learned how Skeeter came to be, and how he was abandoned by his mommy and sent away, and then he met Bubba Earl, and it was love at first sight, and now you've been replaced. It's probably Bubba and Skeeter in the big bed, and you're off in the spare room. But now tell us though, how did Skeeter come up to you one day and said, we got a bunch of jackasses already in Washington. I want to go up there because I'm the best jackass.
Well, he really is very intelligent. I often wonder just who exactly is in that donkey skin. I mean, it's almost like there's somebody in there, and I have not quite figured out who it is yet. Could be some past politician, some very, wise and intelligent. Yeah. And I was just, I'm not a real political person, but I do keep up with it because I think it's important to keep up what's going on in Capitol Hill, because that shapes our nation. And I happened to post on Facebook one day that I really was not happy with the choices. I was going to throw Skeeter, my jackass, in the running. And I talked it over to Skeeter, and he was all for it. So a star was born, I should say. A politician was born. And he's very diplomatic. I think he can cover all bases.
Well, I got to ask a couple important questions. One, I assume he's running as an independent.
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
He has created his own party. I like to call it the Skeeter-cratic Publican. How's that?
Skeeter-cratic Publican. Got it. I like that. I like that very much. And one of the things that I think is really interesting about the series of photographs and what you decide to put up there and how you caption them, there is a really nice mix of cute, because Skeeter is just so darn cute, of compassionate. Some of the quotes that you put up there are funny and they're sweet and they're kind and they're positive and they make you think and feel good. And then, of course, when you combine it with the good looks of Skeeter, you're really saying something. You have a very nice message.
Thank you. I believe we are. I think this should set an example for our country. And we need it so desperately right now with the economy the way it is. And, you watch the news, you read the paper, and you see, there's bullying in school, the children bullying the, weaker ones. And just this morning, I think, he needs a slogan, and I think compassion is cool because it's, it's a good thing. It's not bad. I mean, people have knocked me over the years for caring about the little animals and things, but I think it's important. And I hope one day that, we can maybe do some children's series, children's books on Skeeter. We're going to continue with our videos. And there's lots of projects in the future with Skeeter. And who knows, where it's going to go. Compassion could lead to some income.
That would be nice.
Well, I got to tell you, when somebody becomes president, they always appoint their friends and relatives to be ambassadors. Helena and I would like some warm country. We would like to be ambassador to some warm country with lots of beaches.
Lots of beaches.
Yeah.
I would like to go to Andalusia, Spain.
And preferably one that's not in civil war at the moment. So just saying.
Well, Skeeter is going to, as Pam was saying, first, Skeeter's going to become the leader of the world's largest country. And then the globe, where he's going to go for world dominance, and then the universe. So, we could end up being stormtroopers, Glenn.
There you go.
You never know. I really think that it's a wonderful message that you have, Pam. And, I like following not only the development of Skeeter as an animal, but his relationship with you guys. And then also, for those of us who've ever tried to train or clicker train or treat train our horses and donkeys, behind every picture there, you got to say, I wonder how they got Skeeter to do this. Did he decide to do it on his own? Was a treat involved? Was there, so there's a little bit of that in there too, I think.
Yeah, a lot of it is just him. Like I said, he's easier to work with most days than the human, my husband is. And just like the last video I posted of him with the cushion, the swing cushion, he had been playing with it for a pretty good while, and he just insisted that I come watch him play with that cushion. So I picked up my camera, and if you watch the video, the first start of the video, he's coming around the corner of the house to get me. And then he sees me coming, he turns and goes back to the cushion and puts on a little show for me. So it's just, he's moody. He's just, like I said, he's just somebody. He has his moments, and sometimes he's perfect, and other times, I can tell he's not up to it, and I say, okay, we'll do it again later. But
How old is he now? How old is he now?
He just turned a year old, I think, June the 8th. Yeah.
And how tall is he?
Oh, I don't know. He's still not as big as his mother. I'm assuming he will get, about that big.
He looks to be, about 12 hands, Helena? 12, 13 hands, maybe.
I can't tell.
Maybe not even that big.
Yeah. He's, I'm not, his mother and sister are my first donkeys. I was telling Helena the other day that, for years I've had horses, and people would say, "Maybe we need to get you a donkey," and I think those things are ugly, ugly. You think Shrek or, Eeyore, grumpy, grouchy, and I was, afraid of them. I always heard they'd kill your dogs. They were mean. Well, we, saw these little donkeys in need up near Arcadia, Louisiana, and drove over there one weekend. I picked out his mother and a little Jenny, and didn't know she was pregnant. Didn't know that was like
of course not.
No.
This man had he had hundreds of donkeys. I mean, it's a sad situation here in Louisiana and Texas right now with the drought and people getting rid of their donkeys. So she brought her home, and I just thought the little Jenny running in her side was her baby. And then she grew bigger and bigger. I said, well, she's pregnant. I got three. Got three in that package. So that's another thing. It's just the luck of the draw to get her, pick her, and then
Well, I bet you, too, I want to say this before we go, we have to wrap it up here, that I bet you are a wonderful nurse, too. I mean, that comes through here.
Something just tells us.
If I ever go to the hospital, I want you as my nurse.
Well, that's so sweet. Currently, I'm not working right now. My husband is out of town working. I don't know if I want to put that in there or not, but I'm decided to take off and devote my time to promoting Skeeter. And I'm serious about doing the children's book in the future. We're going to do more videos. We've got a Western planned out. It's just a matter of getting it together, putting it together. It's going to be called The Good, the Bad, and the Jackasses. I'll let you guess.
Oh, well, we're going to be, I, for one, am going to be looking forward to it. My 9-year-old daughter is a huge fan. She wants Skeeter posters.
Oh, my goodness. We have some T-shirts planned. I have one prototype T-shirt made up already. It's just that with the hay situation is so critical right now, all of our money and time is going to buying hay because I have over 20 equine mouths here to feed. So,
well,
but
you
it's
just
have
now you have 2,062 likes on Facebook because I just added myself on there.
Oh, well, thank you.
So,
yes.
Well, give Skeeter a hug for us, okay?
Yes, sir.
Or whatever you do to a presidential candidate. I don't know if that's allowed, but, you know.
Well, in Skeeter's world, it will be allowed. That's why we want Skeeter to run the country.
Good.
Pam, thank you so much for coming on and giving us the little backstory to Skeeter. Maybe we'll get a little update when we get closer to Election Day.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank y'all.
You take care.
And now it is time for our Tack and Habit segment of the week.
This Tack and Habit segment is sponsored by Kentucky Performance Products.
Well, it's a hot one out there, and the heat wave has hit much of the United States and the rest of the world. Well, don't let dehydration and electrolyte imbalance sideline your horse. Summer Games electrolytes are formulated to replace both the electrolytes and the trace minerals that are lost when your horse sweats. Its concentrated formula allows you to easily feed the correct amount to meet your horse's changing needs. This electrolyte was developed for the equine athletes at the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta. We all know that it can get hot in Atlanta. For horses on the go, use Summer Games Electrolyte Plus Paste. Each dose contains a serving of Nalox equine antacid for double the protection against stress. And of course, you can find all of that at Kentucky Performance Products. They take out the confusion of choosing the right supplement. And you can find them at kppusa.com. That's kppusa.com. Well, I've got to pick the Tack and Habit for this week, and I was going to do something else. And then last night, we recorded the driving radio show for this week. And can you believe, by the way, that we're on episode 51? We've been doing it for almost a year, the driving radio show. It seems like that show just started.
Yeah, it does seem like it just started.
No, but we interviewed this lady that has this website. We interviewed her about something else, but she has this website that I think is so cool and you're going to love. And every horse husband out there is going to love it because one of the things that drives us crazy about our horse wives is the number of bits that y'all have. You just have bits coming out the ears. You have this big bucket of bits, and every time you go to a tack shop, you're looking at a new bit, and you buy the bit, and you take it home, and you try it once, and it doesn't work, and it goes back in the bit bucket. Am I wrong?
No.
No, I'm not wrong. And then the bucket just collects because guess what? Someday you might have a horse where you need that bit. So
this is true.
You're going to keep the bit forever.
This is true.
Well, if you decide that forever's a long time, or if your husband's just giving you too much crap, if he's referring to you as a jackass because of these bits, then you have an option. And that option is called bitgoround.com. It's actually a lady that lives here in Ocala that started this website just because she had this problem. She had bits she couldn't get rid of. So what it is it's a consignment website for used bits. So you can consign your used bits to her, ship them all down here, and she'll put them up and sell them and then just send you checks. Or you can buy used bits there. And she's pretty strict about her requirements. She's requiring that they be almost like new. They can't be, cracked or broken or rusty or anything.
Right.
And one of the cool parts is most consignment shops nowadays charge a lot. They'll charge up to 50% to consign stuff.
Yeah.
I think you and Jennifer went to one here in Ocala where it was 50%. It was right down the street here.
I'm not sure what it was, but yeah, we ended up buying. I got a good deal though on a John Lyons book.
See, there
I got a good deal. Sorry.
Well,
that sort of blows the whole premise that you were going for, but carry on.
She only charges 20% to consign.
So if I'm a bit owner and I want her to sell a bit for me, she'll take 20% of the profit.
That's it, which is really cheap compared to most consignment stores.
Or 20% of the sale price.
Of the sale price. Yep.
Of the sale price. So if I sell a bit for, let's just say $20, she'll take $4 of that.
Right. Correct.
That's good. Okay, that's not bad.
No,
and I get the 16.
Really good, actually. Compared to most local consignment shops, which take much more than that.
Right.
So so she does this. She has a whole bunch of bits on there, and especially if you're looking for expensive bits.
Yeah.
You're looking for the Toklat, the Mylar bits, and the really expensive ones. If you're looking for a bit and she happens to have it, and she has all different. She has it broken down by category and stuff, jumping and dressage, and all the different ones. So check it out. She just got started a while ago, but it got so big that she had to, and she's been selling them so fast that she was using her spare bedroom and then couldn't have company over anymore because it took over, and now she had to build a garage actually to house all this stuff that people are consigning for her with her, and she just does it part time. She's retired, a very sweet lady who just wanted to find a place to get rid of used bits. So it's called bitgoround.com. Check it out.
That's pretty fabulous. I had years ago when I had started Hamilton Horse and Hound, which was one of the first online tack shops after yours, one, of course. I had many requests because I did sell bits, and I had many requests for people to say, you need to do bit rentals. And because of it was just a solution to this problem that BitGoRound helps to solve, as well as you've got this collection of bits. And it's not the collection because, come on, most of us are women and we like shiny, bright objects. And I can decorate my house with bits. That's not the problem. It's frustrating to have to go out and keep spending money on new ones.
Well, that's one thing that she did is you have 14 days to try the bit. And if you don't like it, return it within the 14 days and she'll give you your money back.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good. And it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward to sterilize bits.
Yeah.
You
can wash a bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, then that's really the only challenge, I think, to the program.
I do know Wendy has, same Wendy we've been talking about all show, has used them and has consigned a lot of her bits, and she said she just keeps getting checks. So
we should just call this the Wendy Show.
I know. It does seem to be that.
Thanks, Wendy.
Yeah, so it's bitgoround.com.
Love it.
Well, that's it for this week. We're going to keep it fairly short this week, and we'll be back again next week with another terrific show here at the Stable Scoop Radio Show. I do have an announcement to make, and that is there's a neat guy by the name of John Kyle who now is joining Samantha on the Eventing Radio Show as her co-host.
Fabulous!
That became official last night. Super guy. He's from England, and he knows a ton. He's actually an announcer for the FEI. So he does some of their TV programming, and he announces at shows and events around the world. So he's very knowledgeable. He's funny. He's just a great guy. I actually met him when he was in here at the WEG, and we had dinner together. Mm-hmm. And he's one of those very funny guys. And he and Samantha work so well together. So I'm very excited that she found herself a really neat co-host. And
I've been enjoying the show ever since Samantha's come back on board.
If you heard it last week, he was the one that was on last week. And yeah, he was very good.
Very.
Yeah, and he just knows what he's doing. He wants to do this, and he loves the Horse Radio Network, and he likes the eventing show, and he just wants to see it grow and grow. So that's very cool. We're very excited to have him on board.
I think everybody should event. I think we should have Western eventing.
And
they probably do. Just call it a different name. Me and my dunceness.
And one other thing on the dressage show, she did an interview with one of the powers that be in the dressage community about the whole Colbert thing.
Oh my God! Did you see the newest one that's out today?
Yes, we did. Yeah, yes, we did see the newest one.
It's even better than the original.
I know, and the dressage has never had so much publicity. Unfortunately, all the mainstream newspapers that are picking it up, it's just pretty much busting on it's a rich person's sport.
I know.
So what I'm going to say to all of you rich dressage people is, enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
It's true. It is a double-edged sword. It's any exposure for horse sports is good.
Boy,
unless it's connected to Anne and Mitt Romney.
They're having a field day with this. And you and I know there's lots of regular people like us that do dressage. And, who are not rich in any way, shape, or form. But I just feel like going out and spending tons of money now.
What do you mean?
Well, they're saying we're rich, so we should just act like we are and go out and just blow it all.
We should.
Yeah.
But I'm going to need a tax break first.
And cheaper gas. But that's where Skeeter comes in. He's going to fix all that.
That's where Skeeter comes in. And everybody, I please encourage you to go to his Facebook page, Skeeter for President, and become a fan, because it really is. It's a lot more than just some cute photographs of a donkey. There is there's a whole series of emotions and witty, intelligent, thoughtful feelings behind it. So I think it'll appeal to a lot of our Stable Scoop fans. So go to Skeeter for President on Facebook. Oh, and don't forget, Stable Scoop on Facebook. We need you. Thanks for listening.
Let's end the show with Skeeter for President, the best jackass for the job. Woo!
We should hire him for the Horse Radio Network. Yeah. He'd feel right at home.
Yeah, I could take some time off.